In my last video, I stated that a definition of the left-hand path is bending the spiritual to your will. Now, what did I mean by that? Does this mean I've vacated the sinister path and suddenly gone New Age and joined a pagan witchy-poo coven, changed my name to Tommy Avocado Rabbit, and now get naked under a full moon and hug trees? Not quite. Let me explain. Now, there are words thrown about, like gods, demons, the soul, or transcendence. Words that fall within the realm of the spiritual. And when most people hear these words, they either jump to one side of the fence or the other. The scientifically minded dismiss the spiritual as nonsense, while the believer will attach themselves to it like a child to their thumb. This tends to be the mentality of most of us here in the Western world. It's all or nothing, real or not real. And the answer to Joseph Campbell's question would be neither. But you're just straddling the fence with a foot on either side, would claim the believer or the non-believer. And my answer to that would be no, I'm not. I'm not arguing from an agnostic point of view. There's no kind of believing going on here. What I'm talking about is the third alternative, that is understanding metaphor. In the East, within the Hindu traditions, for example, they understand metaphor. They understand that mythology should be read like poetry, where it's not analyzed, but instead experienced, thus bringing us to the transcendent. And what is that, you may ask? The transcendent is a domain outside of what we know, beyond the material. But, you ask, how can anything be beyond the material? Well, have you ever been moved by great music, where it gives you chills and nearly brings you to tears? Or a piece of art that touches you so deeply you can't put it into words? These are forms of transcendence, experience beyond the rational, beyond mere sensory understanding. Now, we call the Sect of the Horn God's philosophy rational occultism to make a point about thinking instead of believing. But in truth, the term rational occultism is an oxymoron, for the occult is not rational. What it is, when done right, is smashing through the walls of empirical reality to experience the transcendent in a grand fashion, to manifest the transcendent in a way comparable to the psychedelic experience. And why would anyone want to do this? Some do it for the thrill of it, while others do it to achieve a sense of wholeness through understanding the psyche, for there is much more to us than the conscious mind. The ego is only the tip of the iceberg. To most people, their subconscious is a stranger, and who wants to live with a stranger? Mythology, religion, the occult, these are all ways to plumb the depths of the subconscious, to get to know what's going on inside. But the left-hand path, though, that's a way to do it on your own terms. In conclusion, the appeal of the left-hand path is that your psyche isn't being manipulated by others or by dogma. You're in charge. You personally, through trial and error, discover the way to the deep psychological satisfaction that comes from getting to know your subconscious, that stranger deep inside.